Hey guys, how are y'all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic, and welcome back to the channel. And I hope you can see this, but I'm sporting my Star Wars The Last Jedi shirt, my favorite Star Wars movie. If it's not your favorite, that's fine. It's just mine, so I thought it'd be kind of cool. Now, why I'm wearing this is because we're also talking about the very brand new, I should say that, release game Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Now, I'm pretty early on in the game, so please avoid spoiling anything in the comments if you've beaten the game or beaten a certain area. As I have not, and probably others. And I'm just going to probably just, tell you guys my first impressions of the game and what I think of it, the good and the bad. So, of course, with this game, I'm not super duper far. I just maybe played maybe like 2 hours. I like to take my games kind of slow. At the same time, though, I do think that this game has some negatives, but also a lot of it is positive. And first of all, this is a story-driven game by EA, and that is a great freaking thing. Because Star Wars Battlefront 2015 did not have any single-player stuff. It had a few offline multiplayer stuff, but it was terrible. And then Battlefront 2, which I actually really love from 2017, has some offline modes, as well as an offline single-player campaign with Iden Versio, which is canon. Say what you want about Iden Versio's Switch, but I thought it was pretty cool and weird at the same time. But this game is completely canon as well, and it is just a story-driven game. Now, I played it, like I said, for around 2 hours. I only completed the first planet, which is... I can't remember the name of it, damn it. I can't remember the name of it. But, Bugadoo or something, I don't know, Bogalo, something like that. It's a very cool-looking planet. It's something we haven't seen before, and of course, it is brand new to the Star Wars canon. Now, on this planet, you will notice something that the graphics look insane. The first negative, though, is, of course, that the game will lag a lot. Now, I don't have a PS4 Pro. I just have a normal, standard, vanilla PlayStation 4. And this is not, by any means, an open-world game. However, there are planets that you can freely go back to and kind of explore. So it is kind of an open world game with like hub systems, kind of like Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens did. However, they're not huge. They're pretty big, but they're not huge. And it lags, which is really strange. Because if you think about it, Modern Warfare doesn't lag. None of the Lego games lag. No game... This is the first Star Wars game I ever played, in Star Wars at least, that never lags. And it's really weird, because again, it's not that huge. I mean, it's a big game, there's a lot of stuff going on, and the planets are pretty big, but they're not huge by any means, and it's kind of strange that this is lagging. Now, I don't know how PS4 Pro is doing, or Xbox One X, or PC, or any of that stuff. I'm assuming they're a little better than the normal vanilla console, but it is an issue that I hope they fix, and they probably should have looked into it more. It doesn't lag too much, but, whenever you go into a certain area or two, it lags for a second while it's kind of, loading or thinking of what to do. And it takes you out of the immersion a little bit, and it is very annoying. So, I don't like games that lag. The worst game I've ever played for lag is Just Cause 3. I really enjoyed Just Cause 3, and I still love playing it today, but it's slower than dirt, and it just makes me want to turn it off more. If you have Just Cause 3, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. It runs like dog poo-doo. So, that's the first negative, of course, that it runs kind of poorly. I'll get to another negative in a little bit, but going back to the positive parts for a little bit, the story. Of course, the story follows 5 years after Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, which is, of course, when execute Order 66, that kind of thing happened. And, of course, most of the Jedi are dead, right? Well, except for Padawan Cal Kestis. He escaped, and, of course, he is now on the run by the Imperial Inquisitors, the Seventh Sister, and the Second Sister, and the whatever sisters, whatever, it's kind of weird. If you've seen Star Wars Rebels, you'll know that there are Inquisitors, and, of course, some brothers in there as well, and I believe some sisters as well. The Seventh Sister, I think. But yeah, so the plot is actually really strong. It isn't just something that was just, stacked on just to be there. It feels like a really nice addition to the Star Wars canon that really feels like you're playing through a movie, which is something that I really only give, like, Uncharted games the doubt, or, maybe the Arkham games. Not many video games I look forward to, or I look up to as, movie quality stories. There's a difference between a movie quality story and a video game quality story for sure. However, this one is a movie quality story for the fact. I mean, it is so well done. The voice acting, top notch. Of course, Cameron Monaghan plays Cal Kestis, who also is the Joker, I guess, in Gotham. I have not started that show yet. I want to soon. However, he is the menacing Joker. He's not really the Joker in Gotham, but you know what I'm saying. He's Joker. He's Joker in Gotham. So, he, of course, is a great role. You also have a bunch of characters that I haven't memorized yet, so I can't tell you their names. But again, it's a fantastic game so far. I've only been to one planet, and it's so alive. The puddles are great. The rain effect is great. The first, maybe 20 to 30 minutes is so freaking jam-packed. I mean, you're learning how to fight stormtroopers, and, you know, you're fighting the second sister for a little bit. You're doing parkour, you're wall running, you're sliding down things are blowing up. I mean, it's crazy. It really does feel like a bit of Uncharted, Indiana Jones, and Star Wars in there mixed up all together, and it really is a great thing. I think EA and Respawn did a great job with the story. And, of course, the set pieces. However, this game, the next thing I want to talk about is the combat. Now, if you played Battlefront, the old and the new, you'll know that if you're playing a lightsaber character, it's kind of just wield a thing until you hit him, right? It's fun. It's pretty easy. There's not much strategy. If you play LEGO Star Wars Complete Saga, LEGO Star Wars 3, which I'm working on right now, or LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens, you will know that, of course, they are minifigs, and you're just basically tapping X, you're doing certain smaller combos in order to defeat your foes. It's very easy, but it's also extremely satisfying. Because the LEGO games are for all ages, they have to not make it super hard, but also make it rewarding at the same time, and they do a great job of that. However, this game is freaking difficult. I was playing The Force Unleashed 1 today, which I might do something of that for Star Wars month in December. I was playing that before I tried this out while I was updating and installing and all that, and I was playing for a little bit, and I'm like, oh, this is so fun. You know, I'm hacking, slashing stormtroopers, you know, going crazy, zapping them, blading, and force pushing them. I mean, it's so freaking cool. And I go and playing this game, and I died about 5 times in a row in the very beginning. Not because I suck, it's because the combat is so different. And if you saw my unboxing, I read to you, on this cover, it literally says, engage in thoughtful combat to size up your enemies. Now, the best thing about the combat is the idea of the combat. If you play The Force Unleashed, you're playing as Galen Merrick, I like Gollum better, and of course, Star Killer, right? That's the big thing. And now, of course, the Force Unleashed games are not canon by any means anymore, which is a bit of a shame. However, because you're playing as a Sith in the beginning and all that, you know, you're using a red lightsaber or your 2 red lightsabers or whatever, and you're basically just going crazy, right? You're hack and slash, like I said, hack and slash, murder everyone in your path. There's not really a huge challenge there because you're a Sith, right? You don't give a crap. You're just killing people. This game, you're playing as Cal Kestis, who is, of course, a Jedi Padawan in training on the run. So, because of that, they did a brilliant thing. And a lot of people are comparing this to Dark Souls, where you have to think about and strategize and kind of anticipate your next opponent's attack pattern. And man, is that true. God dang, is that true. Because I died, like I said, like 5 effing times in a row, man. Because, like, you know, I just came off of playing Force Unleashed, but the best part, like I said, is that because you're playing as a Jedi, the whole thing of the Jedi is you don't use the Force or your lightsabers for weaponry. You know, you use it for self-defense and peace if need be. And you have to kill someone, you know, but we'll get into the Jedi Order and how they sucked and all that and how great they were also back then in December when I reviewed the films. However, with this going forward, you know, like I said, you're not a Sith, so you're not just going crazy and killing people. You're a Jedi, you're a Padawan, so you have to very much calculate things. And it's really cool, because you take one misstep, you're freaking dead, man. And the thing is, whenever you die by someone, whether it be Stormtrooper, Monster, Inquisitor, what have you, you lose all your XP. What does that mean? You lose all your XP, you're screwed. However, the reason to get your XP back is if you kill, or at least attack one time, the enemy that killed you. Kind of like No Man's Sky. If you die in No Man's Sky, you lose all your shit. But you have to basically go down into an area and find it. So in No Man's Sky, really fast, I died at the bottom of a lake. Not the best ideal thing. So I had to swim back to the freaking lake, get my stuff. I almost died a second time. It's kind of like that. It's very punishing, but it's also very rewarding because you just tap that enemy once they killed you, you get all your stuff back. And just pray you don't die again. But I died a few times because on the first planet, which I still can't remember the name of, a beautiful planet, right? You can either follow the story, kind of, you know, the hub worlds work this way. You can either follow the story with BD1 and all that, your droid, or you can just kind of explore and do different paths and find different crevices and all that, which a good open world game has. And this is an open world, but you know what I'm saying. It has exploration elements. And I think it's really cool because, you know, I was going in this cavern, and Cal put his lightsaber up because, you know, it's bright blue, and you can change the color and all that, the kyber color. But essentially, you know, you're using this to light up the area. And of course, this friggin' monster, like from this How to Train Your Dragon movie, comes out of nowhere and just beats the crap out of me, and I died. And I'm like, okay, I get it. It's Jedi Fallen Order. I'm not going to get mad. 6 effing times later, I'm like, alright, this thing's pissing me off. So what I did, I friggin' slashed it, got my XP back, and ran the heck out of there. I'm like, F this, I'm done, I'm getting out. So I ran. And that is, like I said, testament to the game. You have to be careful on what you do. You cannot go in there rushing things. And you probably heard that a lot of times, but it's true. You know, you do have to strategize. And it only gets harder as you go on, but of course it gets more rewarding at the same time. There is a double-bladed lightsaber, which, you know, I heard that another subscriber on my channel, Dank Dan, he's a great guy too. If you watch him, he's going to be doing a live stream Well, probably have already been done by the time this video's out, but he showed how to get the double-bladed lightsaber, and of course there are a crap ton of people online too how to get that. Yes, there is a double-bladed lightsaber. Now, I'm not sure if you can actually actively switch between double-bladed and normal-bladed. I'm not sure. I hope. That'd be kind of dumb if you couldn't. But, again, going forward, the plot is great. The combat is fantastic, and it's very much you have to pay attention to things. The graphics are great. There are a few visual glitches where I would turn around and then it'd be like the wall would clip in and out, or like cow would get stuck in something for a second and then pop out of the ground, or there'd be a huge blinding light. I swear to God, Jesus Christ was coming down, because I'm like, I'm not ready yet. But of course, it wasn't Jesus, sadly, I guess. But it was the game, of course, and that is, of course, another visual glitch. So, I haven't experienced any audio glitches yet, but let me tell you that the game is mostly positive. And like I'm saying, you can explore the open world, but the hubs, but at the same time, it's so cool, because when the Stinger Mantis, which is your ship, comes down, I went inside it, and this is where I stopped for the day. Essentially, you can, rest in the Stinger Mantis, rejuvenate, rejuvenate, get your stuff together, and essentially go to different planets. But what's cool is that once you complete the story, you can still go to these planets and kind of explore and find new things, and just roam around. But the biggest part, and my biggest gripe was, well, wait a minute. After you defeat all the enemies on the planet, and you get all the resources and the collectibles, other than exploring and running around and just, enjoying the Star Wars universe, what is there to do? It's about, it's called Jedi Fallen Order. You fight. The good thing is that it is like Dark Souls, where you kind of meditate. You Jedi meditate. You sit down in these certain areas. It saves your game. You can then use skill points to get different things. There's 3 different trees, skill trees you can use. Really cool. You can also leave, and you can also rest. What resting does, rest essentially gives you all your health, all your stims. Stims are essentially, Black Ops 4, you have to inject yourself, heal. BD1, your droid has a bunch of things. He pops it out and you go, and you kind of heal like that. You only have a limited time, but once you do heal, not only does it rejuvenate your health and your stem, it also how do I say this? It repopulates all the enemies on the planet, or on this area, which is great, because it adds to the replay value a million times forward. If you just get bored of exploring, rest, you can fight some enemies. Really, really cool. There is no New Game Plus yet. I don't think they're going to add it. Although Rage 2, they said they weren't going to have New Game Plus, and look at it, they added New Game Plus. So, I don't know. I'm extremely pumped about this game, though. I think EA did a damn good job with it. I can't wait. Of course, I'm not done yet. I'm only around 2 hours in, so we'll have to see how it goes. But all in all, like I said, there are a few visual glitches here and there, and it does lag considerably in certain areas. Again, I've only been to one planet, so I can't speak for the whole game. This is not a full game review. I will be doing that when I beat the campaign and all that. However, this is just my first impressions, and first impressions are pretty friggin' good. Like I said, I'm not really a complainer. If something's bad, I will point it out, but I'm not going to go hating on something just to do that. I love the Battlefront games. I love the Force Unleashed games. I love the Lego Star Wars games. And I love, of course, this game as well. Jedi Fallen Order is a fantastic video game. If you're a fan of Star Wars, if you're a fan of story-driven games, and light exploration, I would definitely consider picking it up. Again, my first impressions are extremely strong. I love it. It's freaking awesome. The story's great. The graphics are great. Again, there are a few hiccups here and there. But, the first 20 minutes, man, I mean, it's nuts. I mean, you're sliding down things. You're blasting stormtroopers. And what I like about it, one final thing, is that, yes, the combat is difficult, but it's also gradually rewarding. So when I died the first 3 times to stormtroopers, I was like, alright, wait a minute, let me take a step back here. I blocked. I parried. I stabbed him. I cut the guy, or I didn't cut the guy in half, they don't have that, but I sliced the guy and cauterized his wound, kind of, how lightsabers do. There's no real blood, so to speak. Because it stops the flow of blood and all that shit. But, it is really cool. And, once I died, I learned from my mistakes not to do that again. Of course, I froze people. I, sliced them in half. I did all this stuff. It was so much fun. And, again, it is very much trial and error. So if you do have this game and you're getting pissed off by it, as I sometimes did today, do not let it get you mad. Because, like I said, for the Force Unleashed, you're playing as a Sith, and there's no real challenge. There is, but it's not that big. This game, you're playing as a Jedi, and Jedi, like I said, they don't really rush into things, unlike Anakin Skywalker and probably a few others. They like to take it back and kind of, assess the situation before going in so you don't get effed up. And like I said, you very much have to do that with this game. So if you are having a hard time, rethink your strategy, pay attention to the enemy's attacks, and you should be fine. If you have any questions on the game, please tell me. If you have any issues, tell me. Of course, I can't fix them. But please avoid any story spoilers in the comments. Just tell me what you like, if you have it, and what is up. Again, I really like this game so far. I'm having a blast with it. I'm very, very early in, but I thought I'd give you my first 2-3 hour early inspection of the game. And again, it's great. It's definitely one of the best Star Wars games I've ever played. Of course, the LEGO Star Wars games are always my favorite because they have fun, comedic stuff for all ages. They have huge hub worlds. You know, it's really cool. But this game is really, really close to those, trust me. And I mean, it's just as good as the old Battlefront games, the new Battlefront games, Force Unleashed LEGO. It's great, and it's something not to miss. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. And again, just please tell me what you think. Again, with no spoilers, may the Force be with you. Thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.